Hello, friends. Hello. I'm just gonna get a little bit set up here while some of you filter on. I'm gonna try to figure out the best way to sit, and I think it's gonna be like this, based off of how the screen is. Hello, hello. Please ignore my sunburn. I was gonna put makeup on for you guys. I was, and then I am like, my sunburn hurts, so we're not gonna play with that today. I'm gonna see how much I can lift you guys up and leave my little props here in the frame. Oh Lord. Clearly, I just need a little bit of grace today. Thanks, Heather. I'm happy to be home. It's always fun to get away, but it's always good to be home. We'll see how long the ring light cooperates with us tonight. Hello, hello. Just gonna let you guys filter on here. See, maybe I can sit. I don't know. I'm fine here. I'm fine here. I just can't move the screen. I have like no control because you guys are far. So if I have to get up, I have to get up. It's just gonna be what it is. Good evening. Good evening. Hello. Hi there. Hi. Hopefully I can see too. That's the thing. That is the thing. Hey girl. Hey. Yeah, as I'm getting older here, the eyesight's starting to go. I'm overdue for an eye appointment. So you guys being a little bit further from me today is a little harder for me to read comments, but that's okay. That is okay. Thank you for joining me this Sunday evening. I'm excited to be here to talk to you guys. Hopefully you guys can see this. It's like solid in the frame. Let me move over just a little bit. Let me not knock all this over. That's better. There we go. Good evening, good evening. Thank you guys for sharing my birthday evening with me. And thank you guys for all of the birthday wishes. That was amazing. So I appreciate them. I saw each and every one of them, the messages, the posts, all of it meant the world to me. So thank you. Thank you so much for that. You guys really know how to make a girl feel loved. So thank you. So we are a couple of minutes over the top of the hour, and I want to be cognizant about the replay and people's time. So I'm just going to jump into our topic tonight. And as I was thinking, thank you for all the birthday wishes. As I was thinking, isn't that fun? So this was one of my favorite, this was my favorite room when we bought this house a few years ago. I'll share this before I jump in. And when we originally looked at this house, I had just reinstated my Scentsy business. And so, you know, one of the things we knew we wanted in the house was a space for me to have a Scentsy office. And I had intended on making this the boys' playroom. Our boys were still very, very young when we bought the house. And I remember when we were moving in, my husband was like, no, it needs to be your office. And I was like, wow, like that's so amazing. So that kind of goes back to last week's conversation about, you know, getting the support from each other and from those that you love. And that was one of the things that really mattered to me, was hearing his support of my business in that way. So anyway, thank you for the nook. This room has a lot of character with the slanted ceilings. It was built over our garage. So it's a lot of fun. It is one of my favorite places in our house. So, okay. So let's talk. As I was thinking about today's topic and I was thinking about what I wanted to share, first of all, my best friend was like, you're going to go live on your birthday? Are you crazy? But it's only our second week into this. And yes, I'm going to go live because consistency is important. And we're going to talk about that tonight. And if I'm going to commit to this, and I'm going to commit to coming on and sharing a little bit of wisdom, a little pep talk, come on, let's do this together, friend. Yeah, we're going to stay consistent, even if it's my birthday, right? And a birthday is a perfect time to reflect. I don't know how you guys feel about birthdays. I am not big on what I do to celebrate. Like, I don't need a whole lot when I'm going to celebrate my birthday. It's more a time for me to spend with those that I love, and just reflect on my life and where it's going. So this year is no different. And I have in front of me some testers, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. So as I think about where I'm at, I am 38 this year, which, you know, I think I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be for 38. I'm going to be real honest with you. Like, I am happy. I'm happy in my life. And I really believe that that is a product of the choices that I have made up to this point. I'm not going to say everything is perfect because it never is, right? There's always room for improvement. There's always an opportunity to go after bigger dreams and bigger goals and slay different decisions. But there's also all of the dreams and goals that I've achieved this far, right? So, that being said, I'm really happy in the place that I'm in my life, and I'm really excited about where the next year and the next few years are going to take me in my business, in my goals, and in my life. And one of the things that my husband and I are talking very seriously about is what it's going to look like for me to be able to leave a 9-to-5 job and primarily do Scentsy. What does that look like for our family? What has to happen? Because we are like most people, right? We have a mortgage, we have car payments, we have bills, we have kids in private school. We have bills that are a reflection of the choices that we made in our life. And we have to make sure that we're making smart decisions, right? Would I love for my side hustle to be my only business tomorrow? Of course I would. But that is not in the plans right now that we have. And so, I could be mad about that, or I can put together a realistic plan of what that looks like to make it happen. So wherever you're at in your life, I want to encourage you to make a realistic plan for what it would take to get your business where it needs to be. And so many times, I think what happens in our life and in our business and how we allow those two things to go hand in hand is, we don't have a realistic plan. I'm going to tell you guys, friends, that earning incentives are absolutely possible. Earning big paychecks with a direct sales company is absolutely possible. Getting a replacement income is possible, but you have to be willing to do the work, and you have to have a plan in place, and you have to have realistic, smart goals. And I like to think of my life as, and all of my goals and my way of working towards those goals is a 2-step plan, right? So there is the part of this where, okay, we have SMART goals, right? We have specific, measurable, attainable, I don't even remember, or achievable, I forgot what R is. I want to say it's realistic, but I know that that's not true. And then time bound, right? So we have these SMART goals put together. I swear I'm still like a little bit sun faded here. But then there's the big, scary, hairy goals. And those are the goals that I don't know how it's going to happen. And we want the crystal ball. If you're like me, I'm a type A personality. I want the crystal ball. I need you to tell me how it's going to happen, what day it's going to happen on, what time is it going to happen on, what am I going to be wearing when it happens so that I can make sure I'm ready for a celebratory photo op, right? All of these things. Realistic and relevant. Got it. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. So I am that person. I want to know how, when, why, where, with whom it's going to happen. Thank you, friends. Thank you. All my friends coming through on me. Relevant, right? How is it relevant to your life? So what does that look like? So I'm just going to give you like our example here because I'm being transparent and I'm trying to help you see yourself through what I'm doing. For us, it's like, okay, here's money going out. What needs to come in for that to happen? And what needs to happen in order for us to maintain a comfortable lifestyle for our kids? Because remember, the whole reason I do all of this, the whole reason my husband makes the sacrifices so that I can do all of this, is so that we give our children a better life. So money coming in needs to exceed money going out. And right now, if I quit my job, that would not be the case. But in a few years, okay, let's call it 4 years, when cars are fully paid off and we've got the bathroom loan paid off and we have one child out of private school, right? Like numbers start to shift and it makes it more possible. All the while, I'm building up this side hustle, which God willing continues to grow and doesn't go the other way around, right? And so it's working to pay down this, to build this up so that there's no difference in lifestyle other than all the freedom of time that will come with that decision. So that's what that looks like for us. That is a realistic plan. It's time bound. We have a timeline on this. We have, measurable achievements, and it's scary to think about walking away, right? It's scary to think about walking away. I carry our insurance right now. My husband has a great job that does have insurance, so it's not like we would have to go to open market, but it's still scary. Any kind of change, any real change that changes who you are and your identity and your day-to-day life and those comforts, because let's face it, friends, what we do here is not always guaranteed. There's a guarantee that if you work and you put through the right efforts and you're consistent in those efforts, it's going to pay off. But it's not like my salary job where I know what's coming in every month regardless of what goes on. There goes the light. There goes the light. And I need the light. So I'm going to put the light back on. Oh, we'll see how long it stays. Okay. So there's that. So we're going to go hand in hand with that, right? But then, friends, there's also the shift of like, okay, what do I want my life to mean at the end of it? And that is something that I often think about, especially on days like today, right? What do Sunsi full-timers do for insurance? That's a whole nother question for another day. And I don't know, because it's not something that I'm going to need to know or do, hopefully, because my husband has his job. But I think open market is what a lot of them do. But what I will say is this much, is that when I think about my life and the meaning that I want it to have, I don't want to be in this rat race forever. Okay? It's what I do now. One of my favorite quotes is, we're going to leave that alone. Oh, you have to do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do, right? So that's number one. And right now I have to do this. I have to work both jobs until I can do what I want to do, which is have more free time to enjoy my life. And then the point of like, what do I want my life to have meaning? I don't know if I've ever shared with you guys, but I'm an executive assistant in my 9-to-5 job. And I've been doing that work for more than 15 years. So in a big part of my adult life, this has been my identity, right? My whole working life, that's what I've been doing. And so, or some variation of it, I should say. So that is a big part of like what I know to do every day, but that is serving other people's dreams. And so another thing that I live by, like my saying that I live by, is that don't you dare go work 8 hours a day to support someone else's dream and not come home and work on your own dreams. And so when you think about that, no matter what it is that you do, no matter what company you work for, that was somebody else's dream to build that company into what it is to have the employees like you to work for it. And I know that it can be exhausting, friends, to come home and to work another job. But you have to do something to build your own dreams, whether it be your side hustle or you're going to school. Maybe your side hustle is paying for your school so that you can go out and live the life that you were put on this earth to live. Because none of us were put here so that we could literally just work all day long, pay bills, and die. And when you start, I don't know, this is maybe my morbid thought process, but like, I don't know. I just don't think that we were here to just go through the motions, to just live the rat race. And one of the things that I find so appealing about our business is the freedom of time. And it seems counterintuitive. And so this is why I want you to stick in here with me, friends, is because when you think about the fact that I say freedom of time, and I understand that that sounds like an oxymoron in the life that I currently live, right? Doing what I need to do until I can do what I want to do, because I spend even more time working than I do being with my family. But it's all to give me more time later, right? So you take a few years to make sacrifice so that you can live out the rest of your years like most people can't live. Okay? So you gotta just, first of all, you have to have a strong vision, right? Remember what we've talked about before with, like, if you can see it in your head, you can hold it in your hands. And that's what it is. You have to have the strong vision. You have to know what this looks like when you're able to finally live out your dreams. And you have to hold on to that vision every night, every day that you don't feel like doing the things that you have to do to get there. And it doesn't happen overnight, right? But so many people are willing to quit on a bad day. So many people are willing to throw in the towel just because this is hard. So the point of these testers here, friends, is I have 365 testers here. And I know you can't probably see it from your angle, but I have like 5 rows deep here, and then they're stacked up tall, right? There's a lot of testers here. 365, that's equivalent to a year of your life. 365 days, a year of your life. If I take one tester away because it's a bad day, I take one away. This is a bad day. This didn't go as I wanted it to. I heard too many no's. I felt like I was failing. I wasn't doing too much, right? I take this away. Do I even notice it's gone? In the grand scheme of things, did that even make a big difference? But so many of us are willing to quit everything because we're having a bad day. Okay, so we have a bad week. Let's take away 6 more testers. There's a week. Does it matter? In the grand scheme of things, we had a bad week. Does it matter? You still have the majority of your time left, right? And so you work every single one of these days and you stay consistent, right? And I swear every time you're consistent, you stay consistent, you're adding time back. Because when you stay consistent and you work towards those dreams, friends, what's ultimately going to happen is I dropped one. Maybe we'll never get that day back. But here's the thing. When you stay consistent to this, you are going to end up being able to do what you want to do. And that's going to give you so much more freedom. It's going to give you so much more time. Is it going to happen overnight? Hell no, it's not going to happen overnight. But it's the consistent choices that you make that are going to determine whether or not it's going to happen faster for you than you think. I'm going to be real honest with you. The reason why it's not happening faster for us is because last year, or within the last 18 months, we both got new cars. Did we absolutely need new cars? No. My husband probably did because we were going to sink too much money, but I didn't. That was just me being bougie. So that life choice cost me some extra time. When we did what we did with the bathroom, instead of fixing, a $2,000 leak in the shower, which I'm glad we didn't because we uncovered a bunch of other problems, we decided to do a full reno. That cost more money, so that cost us time. Those choices make time. But if we stay consistent working this business and we apply the money in smart ways instead of making foolish choices, those smart choices compound over time to more and more freedom. So the bigger, the clearer you can get on your vision, the stronger you can see what it is that you want for your life and how you want to live out your days. And what do you really want your days to look like? That is going to make the difference. And that's going to get your business and that's going to get your goals to you faster. But you got to have clarity on it. So oftentimes when people make goals and they do vision boards, right? They'll talk about like what kind of house they want to live in or what kind of car they want to drive. Maybe I want to go on vacation. So they'll put something tropical on there. I want you to get really, really detailed in your mind for what you want your life to look like. What do you want your days to look like? Your alarm goes off in the morning, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe your day looks like no alarm set because no alarm is needed. But what happens when you start your day? How does it feel to get out of bed? What does that look like? What are you going to do? What are you going to spend your day doing? So for me, my ideal life, as I can picture it so clearly, is me getting out of bed and not rushing and getting my sons off to school and my husband off to work and being able to sit and enjoy a cup of coffee, hot coffee, in the quiet of my home that I love, that I've built with my husband, this life that we've built, and reading a book and continuing to pour into people and continuing to develop leaders and help other people see their potential to create a life that makes them happy. And being able to spend more time with family, being able to go, on a random Tuesday to go visit my parents, to make that drive while the kids are in school. And go see my parents and go spend time with my mother-in-law. And not have to ask somebody else for permission to take time off of work so that I can go on a vacation or I can go do something at my kids' school. To not have to worry about time so I could go meet my husband for lunch. That's what my ideal day looks like. Setting my own work hours and maybe working from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. every day. And that's what my business looks like. That's what it looks like in my mind. I can picture myself as a pajama and slipper CEO. And I can tell you that the way to get there is to focus each day, to not let one bad day in a year of 365 days impact me to where I allow a bad day to turn into 2 bad days and 3 bad days and a week and a month. To take control over that bad day. And if we break it down even more into 24 hours in a day, so many of us are allowing one person, one difficult team member, one difficult customer, one no, one disappointment, throw off our entire day, throw off our entire week. And those days and those weeks, they matter in the long scheme of things, that you're going to allow yourself to be impacted by people that way. You absolutely cannot control what is going to happen to you. You can't control that something goes wrong in the house and maybe you need to put that on a credit card because you're a little strapped for cash right now. But what you can control is how hard you're willing to work to determine how quickly you're going to pay off that bill so that it doesn't impact you in a bigger way than it needs to. We have to be willing to make smart decisions about the things that come our way, whether it be personal, business, so forth, so that we can stop things from spiraling out of control before we've had an opportunity to control those things. We have to start making decisions based on that future goal. And we have to start thinking about our overall life. One of the other things that I live by is like, I say this all the time when people are having an argument with a spouse or, my sister-in-law is getting married soon and, weddings are stressful. Planning a wedding is hard work and it's stressful and it tests a couple. I swear to God, that's why that's the new pre-Canaan, right? And I always say, when you're talking about something and you get upset about it, is this decision going to matter in 5 years? Will this conversation matter in 5 years? Will it matter in 5 months? If the answer is no, then put it to bed. Find a happy medium, find a compromise and put it to bed. And it's the same thing when you have anything go on in your business. I followed Chloe Cox for the longest time. And one of the things that she says is don't let your 5-minute feels affect your 5-year dreams. And that's ultimately the same thing. That's what I'm saying here. So when you're thinking about this bad day that comes into your life, whether it be personal or it be business related, and you think about it, it's like, okay, this one customer decided to go buy from somebody else, or my VIP customer ended up joining under her cousin who just started selling, and rats, oh my gosh, I should have asked. Don't get so hung up in these things that you really think about it. How I would think about that is, okay, but is that in 5 years from now when I'm doing this full time, when I'm looking back at it and I look at the team and the front line that I've built, will that one person joining under somebody else matter? And how will it matter? See, for me, I'm not going to hold on to any kind of resentment over that because you never know what can happen in life. So you wish them well and you let it go. But what I would do is I would take a lesson from that and I would make sure that I'm asking my VIPs more, presenting the opportunity in more ways. That is what we need to start doing, is looking at how we can improve from every situation and what lessons they can teach us. Not trying to stop them from happening. We will never be able to stop bad days from happening, but what we can do is make sure that we put the bad day to bed at night so that one bad day doesn't turn into many, and in the grand scheme of things, we don't even notice that it's gone. That is something that we can control. That is something that we can do. And always looking for a way to make sure that we're improving our next steps and taking those lessons from it, not getting so hung up on it. Right? We have to remember that we do not own our customers. We do not own our team members. We can't control what's going to happen. We often hear that the team that gets you to promotion A isn't going to be the one that gets you to promotion B, and so forth. And it's true, because people are going to come and go. Here's what I know. What I know is that out of my group right now, I will be the last one standing. I'm going to be the last one standing. I've made peace with that. Why? Because I know I'm not going anywhere. Maybe some of them aren't going anywhere either. But when it comes to me and my life and how I'm applying this business to my life and my dreams, I know I'm not going anywhere. But I'm also not counting on any one person to make a difference. We hear a lot of times that one person can change your business, and that's true. You can have one person join tomorrow, whether it be your front line or 6 legs deep, that's going to change your entire business. It's going to make your business the $1 million business, because that's a 1 in a $1 million person, or 1 in a million person. Yes, that's true. But one person also cannot be the weight of your business. You have to do everything that you can to be the strong leader for your team, to lead from the front, to make sure that you are doing everything that you can in your personal business to allow others to follow. Your job is to leave breadcrumbs. Your job is not to manage people. That's not what we do in this business. We don't manage people. We lead people. And there's a big difference between management and leading. And the sooner that we find this out, the stronger our businesses are going to be. Because when you focus on casting your net wider and not supporting just one person or 4 people or whatever it is that your business looks like, and you cast your net wider, you're bound to catch more fish, right? Does it make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you cannot spend all of your energy in this small space. And I think what a lot of people do in life is the same mistake that they make in their business. They start out small and they continue to think small. And we play small for all different reasons. We play small for the expectations of other people, for the lies that we've told ourselves. The expectations that people have put on us cause us to believe lies of ourselves. And this is just this vicious cycle that we have to break. So if you start from the beginning thinking big, and you start thinking about what you're going to do when you get to that big place, and using a business like ours as a vessel to get there, the entire game changes. You become the one person that changes your business. You become the $1 million person. All because you started to think bigger. All because you changed the game for yourself. You decided that you were going to make this your year. You decided you weren't going to let anybody stand in your way. And you made choices each day consistently, one at a time, that multiplied over time. You need to not count on anybody else. But you also, at the same time that you're not counting on anybody else, you need to lead everybody else. And that's a tricky balance. Because so often we take this personally because we start to pour into people and we want the best for people. But it's what I have said before. You cannot want it more for other people than they want it for themselves. And if you do, you're setting yourself up for failure and disappointment. And you're setting the person that you're pouring all of this expectation into up for failure because ultimately they're never going to live up to that expectation. So simplify everything and create a roadmap based off of what you know works, based off of what you are doing. Share your story along the way, share your experiences along the way so that others can follow in your footsteps, and always be thinking with that bigger mind. Because I'm going to tell you, if you continue to lead 300 people the same way you led 30, you're never going to get to 600 people. You just don't have the time. And our business is unique because you still have to do things as a leader to run your own business, right? Yes or yes. And if you're not doing the things that you're running your own business because you're spending way too much time on your group, your team, your frontline, those that you're bringing on, you're putting all of your eggs in someone else's basket. You're giving the control of your life, of your future, of your goals to someone else. That's really scary. Hell no. Hell no. We're not going to do that. We are not going to waste precious days, precious times giving everything to somebody else. We can't put our fate in one person, two person, even a few. You constantly have to be filling your funnel, and you constantly have to be doing the things to lead people to where they need to go. Your job is to know the way and show the way. And you can only do that if you are trying to stay as straight and narrow as you can. If you don't have a clear vision for your business, for your life, and where you want the day-to-day to take you, how the hell do you expect anybody else to? Seriously, how do you expect somebody else to see for themselves what you can't see for yourself? And if you don't believe in this business enough to put everything into it, everything that you can, right? I would love to be able to spend 10 hours a day working this business. It's just not feasible. I have built a very successful business in part-time hours. Okay? And you can too, but you have to be intentional with your time. And you have to follow along with this notion of I got to do what I got to do until I can do what I want to do. And you've got to be willing to make the sacrifices for a short amount of time for the greater good of things. Right? Like if you think about this in months of your life or whatever, because none of us are living 365 years, you think about it in months of your life, or like you divide this up and you look at 20 years and you take 4 years of those 20 years to really sacrifice. What is that in the grand scheme of your life? To be able to get the ability, I was thinking about this the other day, and we were talking about being able to do this in 4 years when we have, all these eggs in a basket. And I was like disappointed at first when we put together this realistic plan, right? Because for so long I had this notion in my mind that I had to do this by the time I was 40, which is in 2 years. And realistically, it's not going to happen. Maybe it will, right? Maybe it will. But you don't necessarily believe that it will if you can't see the whole picture. But I'm going to do all the things that I need to do, and if it happens in 2 years, so be it. But more realistically, it's going to happen in 4 because of the timelines of what's going on. But I let go of the 4-year thing to get let go of the 2-year thing to get the 4-year plan. And the 4-year plan is far more realistic. And here's the thing, friends, is that gets me retired from corporate America at 44. Do you know that the average person retires from corporate America at 66 years old? Because that's when they can take Medicaid or Medicare or whatever it is. Because that's when they can start tapping into a 401k without the penalties. 66 years old. So I am still being able to do it 22 years before someone else can. Now that is something to be proud of. That is something that most people can't do, right? So I've got to do what the 99% won't do now, which is build the 5 to faint. And then I get to do what 1% of people can do, right? But here's the thing. If you get hung up on the fact that it's not going to happen in your time and the most, the whatever, because I wanted to hold up 40th balloons or some shit that I had in my mind that needed to happen, I'm going to let go of the whole dream. I'm going to throw the whole thing away because of 2 years. I'm going to throw the whole thing away because of 2 years. I'm going to give all this up. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Because I'm worth more. And so are you. But the thing is that if you're going to sit here and you're going to tell yourself every day that you don't have the time, that you're tired, that this or that, or, you're too busy. Oh my gosh. When I hear I'm too busy, like my head wants to explode. My head wants to explode because you're no more busy than anybody else. Like, we all have stuff. We all have stuff. It's different busy. It's different busy. No, what I would like people that say that to say is, I want them to try on, I'm not willing to make the time. Because we've often heard this, right? Is that you've seen the things, right? Posted like, I have 3 kids. I don't have time. Or I can't because I have 3 kids. Or you can say, I have to because I have 3 kids. I can't because I have too many bills. I have to do this because I have too many bills. I can't because I work a full-time job. I have to do this because I work a full-time job and I don't want to do that anymore. It is all in how we look at it, right? It goes back to that same thing I was saying before. You can look at things as this is happening to you or it's happening for you. It happened and I'm miserable about it, or it happened and it's a lesson that I'm never going to have this happen again. You have got to start looking at your life through a lens of how do these choices every single day impact my greater vision? If it doesn't impact my greater vision in a way that truly matters, if it's not going to matter when I get to that place, then I'm not going to waste the energy on it because my energy is better funneled somewhere else. Okay? Because I got to get to my bigger plan. Or if it's not serving my business in a way that's my business or my life in a way that's going to get me to this ultimate dream, then I don't have time for it. We have got to stop putting everybody else's needs before our own. Because I know I'm talking to a majority of women in this group, and women are the worst at this. We go through our life, we let birthday after birthday after birthday pass us. Year after year, day after day, 365 days at a time. We let them pass serving other people. And we give 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 until there is nothing left for ourselves. And so I made myself a promise. I gave myself a birthday gift today. And I gave myself the gift of this promise that I am not going to fill everybody else's cup before I fill my own, because I cannot be a good leader. I cannot be a great mother. I cannot be a great wife, a good friend, a good mother, or a good daughter, a good sister. I can't be anything to anybody that they deserve if I am not good for me. If my health isn't in check, if my mental health isn't in check, if I'm tired, because all of that is energy that's drained and energy that I can't put into my ultimate goal. And I promised myself that if it doesn't serve me and my family to this ultimate goal, it just doesn't have a place in my life. And I just don't have time for it. And it's okay to distance yourself from people, places, things that will steer you off of track. We spent some time this week with friends, and it was so good for the soul. It was good to get away. It was good to laugh. It was good to be around people that you love that you don't get to see very often. And my girlfriend looked at me and she was like, you seem so different. You seem so different than you were when you were here last year. And I just looked at her kind of with this surprised look on my face, and I said, good different or bad different? And she said, good different. You just seem so much more relaxed and so much more content. And I thought about that, and I thought, what a compliment, but what a validation. What a validation that I'm where I need to be. And so I want you to also take the time not only to make a promise to yourself, but to also listen to the cues that people around you are giving you. Be they good or bad. Pay attention when you're snapping a little bit more at your kids or at your spouse. Pay attention when you are not feeling your best, so you're letting the little things ruin an entire day. Because those are signs, those are cues from other people. That's validation that you are not doing what serves you. It's validation that you need to stop focusing on the things that drain your energy so that you have more time for the things that bring you energy. You need to break up with anything that is going to steal years of your life. Stress, heartache, misery. It's going to steal years from your life. And I want you to think really hard, and this is between you and you, really hard about whether or not you're truly happy. Are you content? Are you different this year than you were last year? If not, what are you going to be doing this year in these 365 beautiful days that you're given, God willing, to be more content next year, to be happier next year, to be closer to your goals, to your dreams? What does that look like? What does it really look like? Not a title, not a paycheck, not a house, not a car, not a vacation, unless that vacation is part of your wanderlust heart and you just want to travel the world so that you can experience it. But what does it look like? Because here's the thing. At the end of your life, and we hear it all the time, but I'm going to say it again. At the end of your life, you're not going to be sitting there thinking about how many hours you worked and wish you worked more. You're not going to be sitting here thinking about how you wish you had more money. You're not going to be thinking about whether or not you drove a better car or you lived in a better house. What you're going to think about is whether or not you spent your days as happy as you are, as happy as you can be. Whether you surrounded yourself with people that lifted you up and that made you feel good. Whether or not you were a good person to people. Whether or not you helped people more than you took from them. Whether you gave your best version of yourself every single day. And I'm paying attention to some of these comments, and I'm not going to call them out specifically, but I'm reading stuff about mental health and depression. And I'm going to tell you guys, those of you that know, that follow me, you know that I suffer from high levels of anxiety, high functioning anxiety. And I'm going to tell you that we've got to break the stigma around those things. Because at the end of the day, anybody who would judge you for doing the things that you need to do to get yourself in the best mental state, Whether that be cutting toxic relationships, doing something that truly makes you happy, medication, therapy, whatever it is, anybody that would judge you for making the choices that you need to make to get on a plan to live your best life every day is not a person you need to concern yourself with anyway. Those are not your people. They don't love you and they don't want the best for you. They're also not in your shoes. And I don't care. I could say all day long that I suffer from anxiety. My anxiety may affect me differently than yours does. It doesn't make me a subject matter expert, and it doesn't give me the position to give you advice on how you should live your life. You and only you can decide what's best for you. But I can tell you that in no equation does staying in the same spot and making the same decisions and not making a real plan to get better, does that make any sense? Does that add up to a better life for you? In no equation. But the thing is that especially when we're dealing with issues that affect our day-to-day life, we have to take our life one day at a time. And maybe for you, you can't think about $365 days right now. You can think about today. And when you get through today, you focus on tomorrow. And when you get through that, you focus on the day after that. And you build your 365 days one day at a time. There's nothing wrong with that. Because here's the thing, you can still have an entire vision for what you want your life to be and still take it one day at a time. Get the vision in check first. And maybe your vision is just that you want to live life carefree and happy to be alive. Every day that you wake up with breath in your lungs and a heartbeat is a good day. Any day that we are 6 feet above the ground is a good day. There's not going to be, every day is not going to be good, but there will be a little bit of good in every day, but we have to make the choice to look for it. You have to keep going. And sometimes it means focusing on your breathing. It means taking a deeper breath so that you can feel it. It means laying in a cold shower so you could feel the water so that you know that you're alive. It means taking those moments that you need to take so that you could get through today and know that tomorrow is ahead. But I promise you, on everything that I know to be true, and again, I'm sharing my truth, so it's not going to be everybody's truth, but I'm going to tell you everything that I know to be true is that the stronger the vision you have for yourself, the clearer it is, the easier it is to make the sacrifices. Be that hours you put into your business, or sweat equity in your office, or just getting through another day. That's what matters. Just remember that it doesn't happen overnight. And maybe your goals are bigger than other people's. This is the last thing I'm going to say, and then I'm going to end it because we're almost at an hour here. Is this. You can't compare your journey to anybody else's. You have to look at your life and your life alone and your goals alone and how the two intersect to really determine what's possible for you. I'm going to be real honest with you. I make a 6-figure salary in my 9-to-5 job. For me to replace that is a lot harder than it is for somebody with a $30,000 income. So I can't listen to every SSD who has ever told me that they were able to walk away from their job in 4 years, or as soon as they hit SSD, or when they hit director. Their income might not look the same as mine. Their debt might not look the same as mine. Their goals and their life, that they're providing for their children, maybe they don't have children. It all looks different. So we cannot compare apples to oranges. And oh my God, who the hell is out here telling people about their bills? Who is saying I had to take out a huge loan to pay for my bathroom 8 months after I bought a brand new car? And oh, by the way, I don't have perfect credit, so my car payment is higher than somebody with an 800 credit score. So what the hell? You can't, I don't even know how to say it other than to just say, like, if you don't stop living your life through the lens of somebody else, through the lens they're allowing you to see, by the way, the lens they're allowing you to see, you're never going to get where you want to be. And there's so much more at play than just the money, than just the house, than just the vacations, than just the things. It is about a lifestyle. It is about comfort. It is about the day-to-day. How do you feel? What are you spending your days doing? And how does it make you feel? And how does what you feel impact those around you? Because I can tell you, the better you feel, the more you're going to be able to give to other people. The more you're going to be able to love on others and be able to just impact the world. And maybe not the world as a whole. Like, I'm not so naive to think that I'm going to impact the world or I'm going to impact millions, right? I frankly don't care about that. Okay? What I care about is how I'm going to impact the people I love and care about. How do I make their life better? Right? So just do what you need to do. Start thinking about it today. I saw some of you say that you also have birthdays coming up and that you're thinking about these things too, or that you can relate. Don't waste your time. And don't wait for a birthday to make these choices, right? We don't always have to start diets on Mondays. Who the hell came up with that anyway? If it's Sunday and you want to feel better about yourself, do what you need to do that. But don't wait. Don't wait for the perfect time for everything to align for you to be able to do these things. Don't wait for somebody else to give you the green light on your life. You have to do you. And you're going to have to wake up to the fact that you're going to have to make some freaking sacrifices to make those things happen. You absolutely are. You are not going to be able to get where you want to be by giving up days of your life, of your dream roadmap to watch TV. Knock that shit off. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you miss a deadline, you are only hurting yourself. So stop doing that. Every day matters. But every day, don't put so much emphasis on a day that goes wrong that you're willing to throw off more. Do not give mistakes, failures, roadblocks, anything else more power than they deserve. You control the impact. You control what it's going to mean for your life and how you're going to use it. Start thinking about things as lessons and how you can improve it in the future. And I promise you, your life's going to change. So get real serious, guys. Get real clear on your goals. I got testers falling all over the place. That's going to be fun to pick up. Please, please, please get clear on your goals. Get serious about what you're willing to do to make those goals. And really think about whether or not it matters if you hit it in 2 years or 4. because you're still doing a whole lot better than a lot of other people. And maybe when you really think about it, those 2 extra years will make all the difference in really making it worth your time. That's how I'm choosing to look at this plan. Maybe it's not going to happen by the time I'm 40. Maybe I won't be sitting here with you guys on my 40th birthday telling you about how I quit my job. But I bet you, with everything that I have and every clear vision I have, is that when it happens, when I'm 44, that I'm going to be in a lot better place in my life, financially, and secure in this business and building it up to where that choice will have been better for my family. And at the end of the day, in the grand scheme of my whole life, what is 2 years? What's a year? What's a day? It's all up to you and what you do with it. If you waste the day, you waste the year, you waste the 2 years, that's on you. But the beautiful thing about life is that you have the control to say, nope, I'm waking up tomorrow and I'm going to make a different choice. I'm going to make a choice that gets me closer to my goal. And that is what you need to do. But you can only do that, friends, if you're super freaking clear on what that goal looks like, what that life looks like, and what you're willing to do to get there. So start thinking about it. What are you going to wear? Who are you going to be with? What does it look like? And what do your days look like? Get real clear on it so that you can get closer day by day, year by year. I love you. I will see you next week. Bye.